Good evening and welcome to my service cutout. So this is a Henley Series 7 domestic single phase. This one is on the yellow phase L2. Two incoming service cables, live and neutral. TNCS, so our earth pips off the top of that. 16mm earth up to my distribution board. Two 16mm tails because I'm lazy and I haven't got round to replacing it. I do have the age-old problem that I don't have a double pole isolator, so I've got to either get in touch with the DNO and wait an age for them to turn up and put one in for me at some exorbitant fee, or I do what I normally do, which is phone up the local engineering department, trundle down there with my gold card and my NAPIT registration certificate and pick up a temporary seal to seal these things back up after I've done my work. That way I am legal and I am allowed to do that. Now, I have been asked what a red head is. So obviously, well, not obviously, but this is not a red head. So if we take a nip next door to our normal environment, we'll have a look at these. So this is a BICC domestic service head with a Lucy fuse disconnector, fuse link. So these we see everywhere, either in Lucy or in Henley. To be fair, most of the ones I see down here are Henley. 60 amp LR71 brush, BS 1361. This is certainly 1971 era. These, don't know, I think that's an 80. That's a 60. We get them in this size as well. That's a 60. I think all of these are probably 60s. I've got 100 in my box, which to be fair is what we normally see. However, this is a red head, and you may or may not see them on some type of service head coming into a property. Now, we would normally see these in BNOs, buildings of multiple, BMOs, buildings of multiple occupancy, where this element of the install is in a Ryfield board down in a service riser in the bottom of the flats, and then we have a lateral riser that rises up through the building and terminates in the property with a red head. These are installed as a means of local isolation for the flat or the apartment. These have no protective element at all. These are a link, as you can see from there. That is a solid brass link. Now, unfortunately, this diameter here is also more or less exactly the right diameter for a better 20mm tube. As you can see from the surface area of that, a bit of 20mm tube may well not be quite as effective as doing the job. Certainly not designed for it. These are only to provide a break in the service cable to allow people to work on the equipment in the flat without having to nip downstairs, gain access to a sealed and locked Ryfield board in a sealed and locked service cupboard. Unfortunately, these, or the requirement to put local isolation in the flats, is stipulated by most DNOs, and the provision of isolation is a requirement of the ESQCR regulations. Adjacent to the meter position is what they usually say. Quite often that is omitted, and they consider that the provision of this maybe some meters away, maybe 100 meters away is sufficient to protect the property. It may be alright for protection, but to allow people to get in to the property and install a smart meter, it makes it very difficult. If they've got to then get access, they may well have to access equipment that they don't have any authorization to. If it's a BMO, then the building owner is the owner of that equipment, not the DNO. Anywho, to answer the question, that's a redhead. That is a disconnection link, not a fuse, and they are provided at the end of a cable run. If we can do a manual demonstration, bit of cable rising up through the building, these would appear at the other end before your meter, and that is a redhead. Thank you very much for watching.